Hello NFL fans and welcome back to the Wall of NFL channel. In this video today, we are going to be talking about the AFC and the NFC championship games. What a phenomenal AFC championship game we had last night. The Bengals were the real underdogs going into that game against the Chiefs, and not a lot of people picked the Bengals at all to keep up with the Chiefs. On offense, the Chiefs looked amazing in the first half. They were up 21-3 with a minute left in the fourth quarter, and the Bengals were able to go down the field and get their own touchdown, and then when the Chiefs got the ball back, they were able to stop them in the red zone as they were trying to get a touchdown themselves to go into the second half. So the momentum really flipped in the Bengals' favour, and after that second half, I was really worried that the Chiefs were going to completely blow the Bengals out the water. But as that momentum flipped, the Bengals came out the second half, and in that second half only allowed 3 points to the Kansas City Chiefs, and the defense was phenomenal. Joe Burrow himself was unbelievable, and despite getting hurried on a few occasions, but only taking one sack, I think he did an amazing job to find his best players. And even though Jamar Chase didn't get into the game a huge amount, and Uzama, the tight end, had to leave the game with an injury in the first quarter, Joe Burrow was able to find his receivers really well, and it was just such an impressive performance by him. He and the Bengals definitely deserve to be going to the Super Bowl, especially after the teams that they've beaten go on their way there. Beating a high-flying Raiders team, the number one seed in the Tennessee Titans, and then pretty much the best team in the league at this point, the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that the Bengals have done an amazing job to get back to the Super Bowl after 33 years of not being there. Especially in Joe Burrow's first full NFL season, I think Zach Taylor and the Bengals coaching staff and the whole Bengals locker room has an amazing vibe of togetherness, and I just think it's so awesome that the Bengals have gotten back there. Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow had actually very similar stats. Joe Burrow had 250 yards and 2 touchdowns and 1 interception, and Patrick Mahomes had 270 yards, 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. But the biggest thing that cost the Chiefs the game was actually Mahomes in overtime throwing an interception on their first drive. I thought that as the Chiefs won overtime, the coin flip, and they received the kickoff, I thought, the Chiefs have won it, the Bengals are going to go home. But an amazing 3 and out for the Kansas City Chiefs. Well, actually, it wasn't quite a 3 and out, because on that third play, the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes threw a costly interception, and it meant that the Bengals had a short field to go and get their own field goal to win the game. It was amazing to see that Patrick Mahomes wasn't able to get a touchdown in that first drive, because it just meant that it gave the Bengals a chance, and that's what we want to see. We want to see both teams get a chance to score, and the Bengals made full use of it. As they ran down the clock and moved the ball down the field, the only thought in my mind was a McPherson field goal, and that kid, that rookie kicker, has been absolutely ice cold this postseason. He's had 12 kicks and made all of them, and he has been ice cold when it is really counted at the end of overtimes, at the end of fourth quarters, and it goes to show that you really need a good kicker in the postseason if you're going to win these tight games. The Bengals have pretty much been underdogs all throughout the playoffs, maybe aside from against the Raiders, and they'll probably be the underdogs again as they go into the Super Bowl against the Rams. But there'll be no shortage of fans, as everyone, it feels like, wants to see Joe Burrow and the Bengals win a Super Bowl. The 49ers looked like they were the team that were poised to win the NFC Championship game right from kickoff last night. The Rams and the 49ers were a really close and quite defensive game for much of the game. The Rams only managed to score 1 touchdown all the way up until the fourth quarter, so they were sitting on 7 points, while the 49ers were physical, they ran the ball a lot, and Jimmy Garoppolo was able to find his receivers here and there, and Deebo Samuel was making plenty of plays, which meant that the 49ers were up by 17-7 going into that fourth quarter. But as I said, the 49ers aren't going to score a huge amount of points, so it was a 10-point deficit for the Rams, and the Rams had to make up those 10 points in the fourth quarter, which they were able to do. They scored a touchdown earlier on, as Matthew Stafford of course found his favourite receiver Cooper Kupp once again, who Cooper Kupp had an amazing 140 yards and 2 touchdowns in this game, which you'd think the 49ers would try and stop the best receiver in the league. The Rams were able to get 2 field goals as well in that fourth quarter, meaning they had 13 points, which just edged out the 49ers and meant that they the Rams were heading to the Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't make many mistakes, which is kind of exactly what the 49ers needed him to do, but unfortunately, he just wasn't able to do quite enough. And when I thought he was going to be able to go down the field in those 2 minutes, when he actually is pretty decent, right at the end of the game, the Rams put a really good rush on him, and he was quite frantic in the pocket and threw quite an errant pass. It went right through the hands of his receiver Benjamin and into the hands of the Rams defender. And that interception iced out the game, and it meant that Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, and the Rams' amazing squad is going to be heading to their second Super Bowl in 3 years. The Rams, from the moment they traded for Matthew Stafford a year ago, have been completely all in. And I think on the whole, the teams that they've beaten has been quite impressive, and they definitely deserve to make up that other spot against the Bengals in the Super Bowl. This Super Bowl is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm expecting this Super Bowl to have a lot of offense, a lot of points, and I'm expecting a lot of key plays going to be determining this game. So thank you guys so much for watching this video on the conference championship games. They were absolutely phenomenal, and I'm sure the Super Bowl coming up in a couple of weeks is going to be just as good as those 2 games last night. Please also check out wallofnfl.com for all of your latest news and NFL scores, and anything you want to see will probably be on wallofnfl.com. Please also check out our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, and also be sure to like and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching.